Good morning. How are you?
I am doing I'm actually really excited to be talking to you because I don't know, I think there's something so beautiful about the fact that I'm doing this Mars and Leo preview, and you're my first
Oh,
person
thank you. Thank you for the honor.
this transit reading with me, and you were also one of my first real full paid astrology readings. So I'm just always just so thankful for you and for you being in my life. And I want other people to know about you and what you've been doing and how you've been coaching me through building my astrology business. But you wear many hats. And so I'd like to take a few minutes for you to introduce yourself to the folks who are going to be watching this video.
Absolutely. And before I do, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I love our readings so much. And they're always like wildly timely on point, synchronistic. It's like everything falls together at just the right time. And it's just like icing on the cake. So I'm very thankful for another wonderful opportunity to sit and chat. So a little bit about me. My name's Christine LaFontant. I am a nutrition coach. I am a trauma-informed nutrition coach, and I look at nutrition holistically. So I look at not just the physical nutrition, which most people think of as like the food on your plate, movement, stuff like that. But I also look at spiritual and mental nutrition. So things like emotional eating, things like our connection to community, our connection to the divine, and how those impact our ability to meet our nutritional needs. And I see nutrition as like meeting all of your body's needs, physical, mental, and spiritual. And then the trauma-informed aspect, that's really beautiful because trauma impacts the decisions we make and actions we take. So I bring that lens in to help people heal their relationship with their body and food and free people to really live in alignment and have a good relationship and dynamic with those, as well as other aspects of their life. So yeah, it's a little bit
So
on me.
if folks want to work with you, how can they find you?
Oh, absolutely. So my website is www.coachingwithchristinel. Um, .com, and then my Instagram is coaching.with.christine. So always happy to support people. I'm a big believer in empowerment. So the way I work with my clients is very much ensuring that they are empowered to continue to do the work after our time together. I consider myself like a catalyst, someone who helps initiate people and help them see the strength and the gifts and the guidance they have within, especially within their body, to help them achieve their goals and transform their life to live the life of their dreams. Yeah.
I love that you use the word catalyst because that is so you, Christine. You literally light up my world when I see
Oh, thank
even an
you.
inspiring note from you, when you talk to me about how trauma informs my eating, when you've talked to me, or when you've actually gone about and started your own group to help women like me learn the ways in which nutrition can help inform different aspects of our body. That resonates so much with my Virgo moon. And
Oh, wonderful.
um, catalyst is the perfect word. So, speaking of catalysts,
Mhm.
we are here to do a short, focused transit reading.
Okay.
And we're going to be looking at where Mars is moving through your birth chart right now by transit, because I feel like I've been compelled to really talk to people about the ways in which we can use astrology to really develop deeper self-awareness and to also understand how we can co-create with the universe.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think that understanding where the planets are moving in the sky is important because I look at the planets as mirrors
Mhm.
and I see them as helping show us the way, so to speak. And Mars in astrology represents our will and our impulse to act. It also represents things like what we go after, what we fight for. So Mars is associated with conflict, and it's also associated with, what our bravery looks like.
Mhm.
And when Mars is in the sign of Leo, I almost called it planet. When Mars is in Leo,
Mhm.
Mars is very much a solar Mars.
Mm,
Mars
okay.
is going after what Mars wants. Mars is very much a leader,
Mm-hmm.
has the heart of a brave monarch,
Mm-hmm.
and is also someone who's going to get the most, I would say, the most traction by being a leader,
Mm-hmm.
by being proactive, by being authentic and moving from the heart space.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Love to hear that.
Yeah. And so wherever Mars is in Leo in your chart
Mm-hmm.
is where this is happening and where you have the opportunity and the potential to work with Mars to go after what it is you want.
Okay.
Okay. And to go after that with a spirit of bravery, with a spirit of authenticity, and with that spirit of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you should know for this transit reading is that it's important to understand where what Mars is connecting to by transit in your chart.
Mm-hmm.
So Mars is going to be moving through your second house, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Mars is in your second house right now, and Mars has been in the second house of your chart since the beginning of November. The
Okay.
second house of your birth chart, if you remember, is the house of our resources,
Okay.
the personal resources. It's the house typically associated with our money, our personal income, the money that we bring in.
Mm. Okay,
It's
yes.
also associated with our resources, the skills, the things that we invest in so that we can build our own personal resources. So look
Okay.
at it as where you're investing, where money's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a number of things show up as Mars in your second house. But the
Mm-hmm.
general vibe I'm getting is that this is a time for you where you are probably already being very, very proactive about marshaling your resources
Mm-hmm.
to help connect to what your self expression and your creativity is leading you to, because Mars is connected to where the sun is at right now, which is Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Mars is ruled by the sun. So I'm sorry, Leo is ruled
Mm-hmm.
by the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever Leo, wherever the sun is in your chart right now is important. And the sun is in your fifth house,
Mm-hmm.
which is the house of your creativity and self expression.
Okay.
Do you have any questions so far?
No, this is like, again, it feels like you're reading my journal.
Good. The confirmation is, as a budding astrologer, hearing confirmations like that is what just keeps me going. So wherever Mars is in Leo is in your chart, it's connecting to the sun. The sun is in Scorpio, and in your chart, your sun is in the fifth house right now. Really asking you to take a look at what you create from your soul, from your heart, from your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and transforming that,
Mm-hmm.
using it as a vehicle for transformation, because Scorpio is all about deep transforming of stagnant energies. It's where we go to for our drive. It's where we go to for persistence. It's where we go for resilience. It's where we go for deep transformation of things that tend to be stuck or stagnant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, can you tell me a little bit about how that might be playing out for you right now? You don't have to go into details, but I want to hear what you've been what you've been powerfully investing in,
Mm-hmm.
turning your resources around, but also using that as a means of transforming what it is you're creating and putting out into the world.
Absolutely. So it's coming up in two ways. One, on the resource side, as far as like being more protective and putting in boundaries around my time and my energy. Um, being very protective of like my rest and my sleep, as well as making sure I have what I need to fuel me through the day. My schedule's gotten a little bit busier, and so I've been making sure to put in the boundaries like where they need to be, and also communicating those boundaries. Because you can put them in place, but if you don't communicate that to anyone, then it, people are gonna try to come in and go past those boundaries. So communicating those as well. And then the other aspect of it is actually in regards to human design, I've been looking a little bit more into that, and human design also has its relationship with astrology because that's part of what it's based on. Um, and what's been so interesting for me is that I've been better understanding again how we're built, right? Like, like we're born on a specific day at a specific time in a specific space. And now we have our charts that help us better understand, like, who we are, what our gifts are, and how we were designed to move through the world. And a big part of that has been sitting down and looking deeper and understanding, okay, what exactly can I do better to better honor this blueprint or this chart? And a big part of it is dealing with these creative urges that come through. Because in human design, I'm a manifester, but they don't like they come through, but they don't go away. So I have all these stagnant creative urges that I need to go through and figure out like how I'm going to begin to like literally work through that very Scorpio, like go through and start to process them or bring them to fruition, so I can clear up energy for more things to come in. So that's been fascinating that the two are so related. But yeah, it's spot on as always. So yeah.
So I love that you said one of the things that I sort of globbed onto in what you were just saying was that there's a tension there, right? Because and they're actually Mars and the Sun are actually in what's considered a tense aspect. It's a square aspect because it's fixed energy. So with fixed energy, it can tend to um, something has to be resolved. A conflict has to be resolved, but it's
Hmm.
a deep conflict.
Hmm.
And so what I'm hearing is that you're doing the work
Hmm.
and that also you're making your decisions based on what is aligned with your human design,
Hmm.
is aligned with your with your intuition, and
Yeah.
you're making some tough decisions around making sure you're enforcing and protecting your boundaries to do so
Yes.
so that you can help to facilitate that transformation over the next several months.
Yes, exactly.
So Mars is going to be in your second house,
Hmm.
um, and it's going to keep moving there through to about December, when
Okay.
it's going to station stop. It's good. Looks like it's stopping from our perspective
Mhm.
to retrograde back down Leo back into Cancer.
Okay.
So Leo's going to move backwards. And if you remember what we've talked about with retrogrades, whenever planet stations, there's something significant to look at. And that's going to happen in or around December 2025. And I'll give you better date. I'll give you the exact date. I have my ephemeris in front of
I
me.
have a guess what dates it could be, but I would love to hear from
So,
you.
so I'm looking at the my ephemeris, which is my astrology, like astrology map for the planets,
Mhm.
and Mars is gonna station to go retrograde like December, the first week of December. I have December the 5th.
I like
So
this
that's
one.
when a planet stations, that's an important point to pay attention to. So around
Okay.
December 5th,
Mhm.
and then it's going to keep going back, appear to move backwards until it gets into Cancer in January, so
Okay.
January 8th.
Okay.
And it's going to keep moving through Cancer. And this is important because when it gets into Cancer, it's moving back into your first house, which is all about the house of you.
Okay.
So this is giving me a rebranding energy.
I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. Like, how do I put this? I'm getting indications that like an evolution is coming, but I'm surrendering to it. And that's yeah, I'm surrendering to it. I'm putting it that way because I know that whatever evolution happens will ultimately be for the benefit of those I am here to serve. So I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yes, yes to all of this. And I want you to pay attention to the 17th of, oh, sorry, the 24th, around the 24th
Of January?
February,
Of February. Okay.
because at that point, a Mars is going to be in Cancer and it's going to station direct right on your ascendant.
Oh, spicy. Okay.
Literally right on the degree of your ascendant is where Mars is going to be stationing to move direct and move back into Cancer and move out of Cancer and into Leo again.
Okay, wow.
So in or around February
Oh, table
2025,
tennis back and forth, yeah.
yes, but some kind of we'll be talking to each other obviously, but we're going to
Yes.
talk about what kind of energy, what's coming in for you around that time. But
Hmm.
the flavor is definitely saying Mars is coming to show you like
Hmm.
here's who I am now, here's how I
Yeah.
here's how I'm transforming, and here's how I'm putting myself out to the world.
That's so timely though when you think about it from like a seasonal aspect. Like, like in the winter, like we winter, we go within, like we get a little bit cozy, like we get still. And then like when you come out in the spring, there's like that little bit of like rebirth that kind of starts to happen.
Yeah.
And I know like spring is technically March, but like the first like inklings of spring technically are happening in the winter, right? Like that seed starts to really like push itself, starts to germinate, maybe it starts to
Mm-hmm.
come out, come forward before like you see like it really start to bloom in the spring. So that is just like that is so timely. And I do enjoy wintering. So, I'm
There
gonna
you go.
enjoy like what happens on the other side of the winter. So
So that's right around the time where we're in Pisces season, and that's exactly on point. Pisces is the time of year when we go from that winter, it's a mutable sign. So
oh, perfect.
it's in terms of it goes from sort of holding the winter. Now we're not holding the winter season anymore so much as we're turning into and getting ready for the spring. So
Perfect.
that was again totally on point. So one of the things I just wanted to just prepare you for
Hmm.
is in Leo, one of the sort of shadows we can face, and I've seen this with people who have significant Leo placements,
Hmm.
is that one of the things you should be aware of with Leo is that with Leo, there's the shadow is Leo is all about being authentic, being oneself to the point where sometimes other people are just so it's just so loud. It's solar, right? So
Hmm.
it's like big personalities.
Hmm.
Leo's associated with, rock stars, famous people, people who literally come off and have sort of a solar, almost I would say like mama bear, queen or monarch image.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the shadow of that I see with Leo is that they're operate with Leo. One of the lessons is you have to sort of face a boogeyman. You have to sort of face your fears. Sometimes Leo can clam up in the moment because
Hmm.
the lesson around Leo is you just got to be free with your creative expression. One of
Hmm.
the things I want you to be aware of is think about that. If there are challenges around you feeling free to express yourself in the way you want,
Hmm. Hmm.
think about that. Make sure that you're protecting your aura, your essence, your creativity. Because with Leo, that the test is usually around some kind of, do I care what other people think about this big risk that I might be taking?
Hmm. Hmm.
And should I care
Yeah.
at this stage when I'm undergoing a first house evolution?
That's good. That's like to me, that's like a part of me anticipates that. Um, this brings you a little bit more to like um so so I have a background of some education in somatics.
Mhm.
And one thing that the founder of Somatic Experiencing, Peter Levine, often talks about when talking about like chronic pain, our tendency is if we have pain, it's like pull in, right? To constrict ourselves. And what he has taught us is that he's like the way actually out of pain is you have to constrict slightly to be able to expand more. So it's like this like constrict in bigger. Like so it's like to be that like big solar flare sometimes like maybe we need to come in a little bit to deal with that shadow like you said of Leo before we can shine even brighter than we did before. So that's like what you're saying, just it makes sense. Like if I'm looking at it from a somatic perspective, but I feel like that also applies overall in life. Sometimes we do have to go through those shadow moments in order to pass through and see the light on the other side. Like it's not bad, I don't think. I think people can hear that word and get a little down on themselves. But in me, it sounds weird, but I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to see what's on the other side. I'm excited.
You were
So,
so, I was like, I had to look and see what's in your ninth house. And I was like, your Jupiter in Pisces is like prophesying right now. Because the other thing I was going to say is, when Mars goes back into Cancer, the lessons around Cancer are all around security, like feeling
mm,
safe, right? So when you were
yeah.
talking, go like constrict a little, go back into our shell with Cancer and feeling secure, and then to pop back out again
Mm-hmm.
in Leo. That's the exact, to me, that sounds like what this retrograde is looking like, right? It's sort of big in Leo, and then
Yeah.
go back in your Cancer first house, and then you're going to come back out again in April 2025, when Mars, I believe that's when Mars. Let's just one more check.
Okay.
April, yeah, Mars will move out of Cancer
Okay.
in April 25 and move back into Leo. So yeah,
Awesome.
great. I love that.
Beautiful.
I love that example that you used about the constriction, and then
Yeah.
it's
It's
constriction.
wild. Like when I first heard it, I was like, what? But like I've applied it when I dealt with some pain and I was like, gosh darn it, the man was right. Like he was spot on. But it's just interesting the idea that you have to go in first before you can fully like expand further. Um, is a really cool concept. But
I love it.
yeah.
And I just love how on point you are. So I'm looking forward to checking back in with you over the next couple of months to
Me
see how
too.
things are going. Thank you so much for your time today, Christine. And I'm going to be making sure to put links to your website and your Instagram. So, and your email, if so folks can reach out to you directly for more information about somatic coaching, human design, and also just all around coaching, because Christine is, in fact, a catalyst in my life and the life of many others. And so I encourage you to work with her. She is amazing. And I want to thank you again for your time with me today.
Thank you, Diana. It's been a pleasure and an honor. It truly is. Like this is the highlight of my week. I'm very much looking forward to it. So thank you for the opportunity to reconnect and learn more. And I can't wait to apply everything that you've shared with me today.
Thank you.